Hello, everyone. This is Kim Jacobs from The Kim Jacobs Show. I am coming on to do a very special edition of this show, Kim Jacobs Show, and I want to make sure that I give everyone an opportunity to hear what's been shared today. I had the opportunity prior to my session with the clergy that came on to talk with you all about social injustice and some of the things that's happening in our community with police brutality and different things from different varying perspectives and schools of thoughts, ranging from bishops to pastors to I've had community members come on, I've had business owners come on, attorneys. I've had people from all walks of life, teenager. I've had people from various walks of life come on to the Kim Jacobs Show within the last 2 days to just talk about everything that's happening. This has been simply the platform for some hearty discussion surrounding it. And as you can see, people have had varying schools of thoughts. And I think that overall, everyone handled themselves accordingly to the best of everyone's ability with what's going on in our community right now. And so I want to take this opportunity because Sheriff Gary L. McFadden was willing to sit down with me and talk about his school of thoughts on this whole matter. And it's very informative, extremely enlightening. And I thought that it would be important for you all as my audience to be able to hear his thoughts directly. Now, I'm asking you guys to share this broadcast with your friends, your family, your coworkers. This is Sheriff Gary L. McFadden in Mecklenburg County, Charlotte, North Carolina. And he has some great insight to share with you all that I think a lot of people would benefit from hearing. So make sure that you go ahead and share this broadcast. And also you can see it, the entire interview on YouTube as well on the Kim Jacobs Show channel. So let me go ahead and just take you right into our interview. Feel free to type comments. I'm sure that he will see some of these comments, so you can type them in the comment section and I'll even pull some of them into the broadcast. But then feel free to also go to the YouTube channel and as well comment there, and some of those comments, if not all, will be seen and he will be reviewing them as well. So let me go ahead and take you to our interview from earlier today. Let's see.
Hi, we're OfferPad.
Okay,
the
so
new
kind
way
of
homes are sold.
commercial happening. Okay, let me see. I can't skip it, so it's an ad. Okay, let's go.
OfferPad.com. Tell us about your home, and we'll send you a great.
Messiah, you got hurt.
Oh, this was, you know what,
this
this was a
not
different
surprise,
interview.
but
This
what
was an
happened to you?
interesting interview too, about two college students that were in the Georgia area that got tased. So you definitely want to look at this interview.
Wrist is cracked. I have 20 stitches in my forearm.
I'm gonna go back to make sure that I share with you all. Wait a minute. I want to make sure that I share with you all the interview that I did with.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, here it is right here.
Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor.
Give me one second, everybody, and I'll pull it right up so you guys can see the actual interview.
Hello, everyone. And
that I did with Sheriff McFadden. And it's on YouTube, but I want to make sure you get a chance to see it right here as well. So let me go ahead and share the screen again. There you go. So many different things that are going on right now with COVID-19, with the social unrest, with you. I'm sure you saw the memorial service regarding George Floyd and his family and everything that's happening. You've had people in Charlotte, North Carolina, like Curtis Hayes talk out to, it was like a 3-generational video clip that him and 16-year-old and a 40-something-year-old were all having some dialogue, very intense, but probably necessary dialogue. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys. There you go.
And welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. So glad that you guys have tuned in to be able to watch this special episode with Sheriff Gary L. McFadden.
Okay, I'm trying to make it where you can see the whole thing versus just me.
He's sheriff in Mecklenburg County in Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome.
Okay, thank you.
I want to make sure that I give a formal introduction. Sheriff Gary L. McFadden was elected to serve as the 45th Sheriff of Mecklenburg County and was sworn into office on December 4th, 2018. Prior to being elected as a sheriff, Gary had a distinguished 36-year law enforcement career with the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, where he served for over 20 years as a legendary homicide detective. It is our honor and our privilege to have you on today's show. I want to make sure that people get a chance to hear from you as you are in your leadership role. First of all, you're dealing with a lot yourself and being an African-American male and then also being in this lead role. So how are things for you?
It is very difficult. It is very difficult because now, let me tell you why. I talk to 5 of my brothers every morning, or one of the 5 every morning. Make sure we get this right. Every morning, one of the 5 African-American sheriffs. 7 of us took over the entire state of North Carolina in one election. So we ruled the 7 largest counties in North Carolina, and we incorporate American community. And I had this said to me yesterday: you're not part of the community because you chose to be a law enforcement officer. And so now, because of our position and our roles in leadership, people expect us to instantly stop what we're doing, put all that aside now to help our people come forward with this injustice. And it is difficult because that's what we have been wanting to do all the time. And that's why we took our positions to make those things happen. But we have to understand, you have to understand that we are beat up on both sides. I just had a conversation this morning with some staff, with some people in our city, and all of us are in leadership. And the only person that they decided to beat up is the African-American sheriff. And so when we're talking about these things, you know, and like I called one guy, I said, you know, that was a setup. But when everybody looks like you kind of sit back and say, wow. But we're going to do what we need to do to make our cities and counties go forward. So we don't hold that against them. We just want them to be aware. We understand that you didn't like us because we choose the profession of law enforcement.
That's well, on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show, I can definitely speak only on my own behalf, and I'm sure I represent lots of others that are also African American, that we appreciate you as a sheriff of Mecklenburg County and any African Americans that are in your role, that you can't help the position that you chose to serve and care for our community. So when you took your oath, you took the oath to serve and to protect.
And what we want to do is actually educate our community and help our community. But you have to give us a chance to do that. Listen to us. We will listen to you, but you have to listen to us because we could guide you better than the people who have been guiding you all this time.
Wow. And on top of that, I also want to be clear too, that it doesn't matter what the race of the officer is, that if the person is serving and protecting, which is your role, then we appreciate any people of color, of any nationality, that is doing what their role is requiring them to do. But let me ask you specific questions.
Sure.
One question that I would like to know is, what steps specifically is the Sheriff's Department taking to have officers be trained in using de-escalation tactics, and how are they ensuring that they are used in the actual field, Sheriff?
Let me do one thing. It is not called the Sheriff Department. It is a Sheriff Office. And let me tell you why that makes a difference.
Yes.
We're not a department, we're an office. We are a duly elected officials. And
Yeah.
so because of that, we have a great range of duties that we can do, like changing policies without asking anyone. And so on Friday, when I was hearing everybody complain about these things that we've been talking about for centuries, but you allowed yourself to listen to other people other people. And so then what happened is today, I will announce and have announced that I'm going to make a policy called duty to intervene. As a sheriff office, instead of a sheriff department, I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to get any guidance. And in a sheriff office, you don't have to go through a review board, or you don't have to go through civil service. If you are a sheriff, they work at the pleasure of the sheriff. So when I walked in here in 2018, I'm allowed to not swear in 15 people. Wow. So we as sheriffs have that power. So hoping that this is an educational moment also.
Yes.
Because when you're asking people to do things, the police department has to go through a process, and the civil service board and all of these other things. A sheriff does not have to do that.
So let me get this correct. You, as a sheriff's office, you have the opportunity to institute new policies without having to get additional approval, is what I'm understanding. And a policy that you are implementing effective immediately is the duty to serve policy.
Duty to intervene.
Duty to intervene.
And let me tell you why. When you see this video, and there is a horrible video out there that most people didn't see, where there are citizens telling these officers to get off of him. If you haven't seen it, you will have to take the rest of the day off after you see that video. So we have two citizens saying, get off of him, get off of him. Look at him, he's not moving. And the officer is standing there guarding the other three while they remain lying on him. In my new policy, that officer, through a small investigation or under the discretion that I have the power of, to discipline him, he can get days off or he can be instantly fired.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you for implementing that policy. And I appreciate you not abusing your authority, but using it for the good of the police department as well as for the community. So thank you. Thank you.
And so we are going to, but to mention de-escalation, we're reviewing is de-escalation enough. Now we have to look at the people's heart. We have to look at also what did they do in the past. So if you look at this gentleman, not even say gentleman, you look at the ex-police officer, he had 18 uses of force in the past. That should be a red flag. But he also had 4 incidents where someone lost their life. All of that is a red flag. Does he need to be retrained? Does he need to have counseling? All of that should have been done. And then we can talk about training on de-escalation. So we don't get boxed into saying de-escalation and all that, which we can, he can go to the training, but then is he following the training? And so we need to be forward and up and clear on that.
I'm learning so much just by you taking this moment. I believe that this is where change starts, is by hearing from leaders like yourself to educate the community.
Right. But what happens is, and I'll tell you what's going to happen in your city, wherever you are, and the people that listen. Here's what's going to happen in the next couple of days. And I call it you being held hostage. You're going to have the talking heads, the same community people who's been leading you at a table. You're going to invite the public in to have conversations. You're not going to have a conversation. You're not. You're going to invite the police, and we're going to sit on the head table with the mayor and the lawyers and the people and the activists and everything else. And then you're going to have an audience full of people post-protest coming in wanting to voice their opinion. So when you get to the mic, they're going to tell us incidents that happened during the protest or prior to that, and we're not looking for a solution. So the first 2 meetings, you're going to have to allow the community to vent. And after that, you will get onto something of what you should and should not do. And then that's when you're going to see progress in the community.
Wow. Wow. So first you do recommend a venting session. And
yes, you're going to let people get out of the session. You're gonna let people vent. But then you're going to have to tell them the first 2 meetings are not going to mean anything. Just tell me why you hate me. Tell me why you don't want to talk to me. Tell me the differences. Now let's move into having a conversation.
Wow.
Once we have the conversation, then we build bridges. And here's what I'm going to say. And I tell people, date me first before we have this marriage. And so then once you you see the person, but you got to get to know them. And then when you get to know them, then you trust them. And then you trust them with your feelings and in your heart, and then you move forward.
That's right. This is some good stuff. I mean, I'm trying to capture everything that you're saying. So giving people that opportunity to vent, but then moving to where we can build the bridges with solutions. And so you believe that this is going to help better the relations?
If the right people provide you information, and here's why I say that. 50 to 80% of these meetings are going to be called by the clergy, which is fine. I'm a God-fearing man. That's why I have this position. But allow us to talk to the brothers and the sisters who don't go to church, who's not going to come to that church because it's going to be held at a church or auditorium, guaranteed. And are they going to come? No. First of all, they are not the members of that church. You don't have a relationship with the church, and you don't have a relationship with the members. So you're starting off wrong, but you believe that is good. And then when you want to put them out, that's going to be a whole different argument.
Wow. So where do you recommend that these particular conversations take place?
I'm gonna take something from what I try to tell people. Don't wait for a seat at the table. Create a space and ask us to come to it.
Okay.
And meet them in their own place. If you have to put a table on the block, if you have to post up into the parking lot,
okay,
and let's talk about it. But be honest and forthcoming with them, and make sure you don't lie to them.
That's good.
Because what I'm worried about now is, and I'm going to challenge people, and I want y'all to remember this word, leap. I'm not going to tell you what it means yet, but it's called leap, L-E-A-P, dash with a B. Remember that. So here's what I'm going to say. You see everybody kneeling, everybody high-fiving, everybody hugging the police, everybody hugging the sheriff, and we all kumbaya right now. So me and my brothers, I say, we're going to put it to the test. We're going to see if you take the leap. Now, when I tell you what leap means, then that's when we're going to have a problem.
I feel like I'm your personal administrator over here. I'm typing with you. I'm doing a good job, right?
You're doing it. And so what we're going to do, we're going to ask the people in the city and the nations to say, let's do what everybody has been saying. Everybody's been asking, we want justice. We want justice. When do we want it? We want it now. But like I ask people, do you know justice when you see it? And do you know how to get justice? Because everybody you've been yelling and screaming at has not brought you justice yet. Wow. And so there is something going on. So we believe that the people are in these positions, as myself, can bring you justice because we're going to give you the tools to bring you that justice.
Oh, that's good. Now, how has this personally impacted you? Just for a personal moment, you're an African-American male, and all that's been happening with these incidents, how has it impacted you as a Black male father?
It is for the first time affected me mentally, and it affected me socially, and it has affected my household. I have adult kids, but for the first time, my 30-year-old son said, "Dad, I didn't like this." He didn't like the Arbery shooting in Georgia, and we have totally forgot about that. Let me just say that. And so then,
I'll never forget about that.
Imagine my family has lived with me. This is next July. I will have 40 years of service, and so then they lived through the 20 years of homicide, and they lived through the 7 years of community engagement, and so it's affecting us because I am absolutely committed to my community and I'm committed to my people, but it's hard because I'm trying to get them to listen and trying to educate them. And that's why when I went out to the park the other day, the brother said, who I've been watching March for the last 8 years.
Right.
I said, I know you because I remember you from the last March. Well, you're not one of us because you're on that side. So instantly I spend my time trying to educate them. So when we talk about use of force, we've never heard the word use of force continuum. Use of force continuum. What does that mean? When we always ask this question, well, why did you have to shoot him? Because you and the other citizens don't know anything about the use of force continuum. That means if you continue to use force, then we go on another step. So if I can sit and tell you about that, then you can hold us accountable. But the question I always ask people,
I hope that's right.
Right. How can you hold us accountable when you don't know the law? Well, we do know the law. Well, then why haven't you held us accountable yet then? And that's what you ask.
Wow.
Right. Because what we're saying is when I looked at that video, here's what words mean a lot. When they were talking to everybody on TV, they keep saying, well, we want to make sure we have a strong case. We want to make sure that we're investigating it properly. We want to make sure all this is done, and we want to make sure that it's not reasonable doubt. But here's my problem. Coming from my background, we're not looking for reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is found in the courtroom. Probable cause is found on the arrest.
Wow.
So do you have enough to make an arrest for probable cause? Yes, you do. And we don't arrest people for first-degree murder. We just arrest them on murder, and it's up to the district attorney to decide what degree. Because when you saw him, it was first, third degree, and now it's second degree. So then when the investigation was coming in, he found out that, hey, we got more than what we thought we had. So if we had arrested everybody in the beginning, we could sort this out very quickly. But I'm not going to second guess these men and women because I don't want them to second guess me. And so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They saw something that we obviously didn't see.
Wow, this is a very educating session, and I can't wait to air it. I will put it up for people to learn from you as sheriff and your whole area of expertise. How do you recommend that children that are watching this episode learn from what they're witnessing, the police clashing with the community members? What are some words of encouragement?
You first got to have these conversations with their parents. With their parents in the room. And so what we do, think about every gathering we go to talk about this incident, we leave the kids at home.
Right. But
think about when we go to church. We go to church, then our kids go to the youth center, or they go to the other area of the church. So we should do these same things in these meetings that we have. You come to the meetings, and attend the adult portion, and have somebody into the other meeting attending the youth portion and the smaller kids portion. Because what's going to happen is mom and dad is going to instill in these young kids' head at an early age that the police is bad and the police will kill you. And so then all of a sudden you are creating the exact same thing that we say that shouldn't be created in their culture. We call it racism in their culture, and we call it just the talk.
I love this, Sheriff McFadden. Bring your children to the discussions versus putting them.
But have a session incorporated for them. And the reason I say that, why, and I know this is not necessary, but I dealt with a family that was not African American for probably about 15 years. And they came from a very influential family. And I was working at this church, which is very influential, with all the CEOs and everything else. And but this father said, I want my children to know what it is to be privileged. I want them to understand people live in hotels and their playground is in the parking lot. I want them to understand that the reason that your clothes are wrinkled and you may not have the best odor is because 5 people are living in a hotel room. And you eat from McDonald's every day. And you don't see your parents until in the middle of the night when they kiss you. And and you don't see them in the morning because they're gone and they kiss you going out. And so, believe it or not, one of those children, out of these 14 children, wrote me a letter yesterday, a 4-page letter, now gripping what I experienced as an African American man, and what I really, I mean, I love them as my sisters and brothers, so their kids are like my nieces and nephews. But for the first time, now they're experiencing what I feel or may have felt every day, but still took a time out for them to be with me. Because in this family of 5 brothers, they made all of their kids come through me to spend a week with me in Black America. And when one of these kids got not lost, but the bus left them in Atlanta. And if you've been to Atlanta where the Greyhound bus station is, she panicked, but I said, remember all what I told you. But when you send a white female on the campus of Morehouse in the middle of the hood and say, you walk up to these brothers, I got to give some props, to some Omegas and say, my uncle told me that y'all would take care of me if I get into a trap. Take care of me and take me to the bus station. Their father said, do you know these men? I said, I've never met them in my life. But because we are united in a fraternity, we have value and we have prestige and we have a culture that if a brother say, take care of this person. They take care of her, and that blew their minds. But now she was telling me, you have an amazing culture.
Wow.
To connect like that. And so educating those who want to be educated is a beautiful thing. But I'll say this, and you can definitely put this on the banner. It is hard to educate educated people. It is hard to educate educated people.
Wow.
Because,
And why do you say that?
because when you try to tell these same, the next meeting that you go to, because you're going to go to them, and you're going to go to these forums. The forum is about police brutality and police misconduct, right? But look at who's presenting the forum, and look at who's being the expert at the forum, right? But when you go to church to hear the word that would take you to the next level, who's giving you that word? The pastor or the co-pastor?
Right.
When you have a toothache and you need the toothache removed, who do you go to? Not the carpenter, not the janitor. You go to the dentist. So sometimes you need to incorporate the dentist when you have a toothache. And then we can tell you about that. But then here's the toothache is the most powerful thing that could hurt on your body, but you've never seen it. You've never seen the toothache. So how do you know it there? Because you feel it.
To air, and I'll make sure that people get a chance to see this interview exclusive with you on the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, I am grateful to have Sheriff McFadden, Gary L. McFadden, take this much time of your day to be on the Kim Jacobs Show, and I encourage everyone to take heed to what is being shared. Any final thoughts, and is there a way that you recommend people get in touch with you?
Two things you can get in touch with me. First, I want you to go to my website at the sheriff's office, because that's going to give you information that you've never seen before.
Okay.
And you look at hot topics, and you look at, when you see hot topics, you go to that, but it's MECK, sheriff.com.
Okay.
And if you look at my website, and here's the good part, my website is in 5 different languages. If you see a language that you want to see on my website, it's a click of a button. But look at the website, but I want you to look at hot topics, because if you're in North Carolina, every court order by Chief Justice Beasley and the governor is on my website. Anything coming from the court system is on my website. But on hot topics, we're going to have a website that says citizen/law enforcement contact. So you can see our policies and procedures that you have asked us to change. So imagine me giving you the tools to hold us accountable. So when I give you these tools to build your house of accountability, then I'm going to see if you have the tools to force America to convict and prosecute these officers.
Wow. Well, I know that everyone watching the Kim Jacobs Show will take a moment to go to your site, which is MECSheriff.com. When you go to that site, he wants you to look at the hot topics and also citizen law enforcement contacts and things that you can do to be able to bring justice to those. He's providing the specific tools, so taking away all excuses. So there you have it.
Right. And then and here's what I want people to do. Read the use of force. Read everything in citizen contact. Now, here's what we can do. If you see something in there that you think needs to be changed, tell me why it should be changed, how it should be changed, and let's come back and say, let's change that. So when people say, I'm giving you the tools for justice that you're saying you ask. So then it's no excuse. You have the roadmap, but can you drive the car?
That's right.
That's it. But let me also give my email address if they need it.
Yes, please.
But it's Gary with 2 R's, .McFadden, MCFADDEN, at MECK.gov.
Okay. Well, I am so honored that you are on this show today, Gary with 2 R's .McFadden at MCNC.gov. You have no reason not to be able to get in touch with.
I do social media, but you might not like my social media. But it's an easy thing to follow. All my social media is sugar-free talk. Everything.
Sugar-free talk on all social media outlets.
Right. Because sugar-free talk means I'm going to give you the bitter truth.
Okay. Well, there you have it, everyone, here on the Kim Jacobs Show. You've heard from Sheriff Gary L. McFadden, every way to get in touch with him, how to go and learn more from him and his teachings on sugar-free talk on all social media outlets. And thank you so much, Sheriff McFadden, for being on. I'm going to now jump on to the other episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I hope you have a great day. God bless you all, and thank you for tuning into the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. I just wanted to make sure that you were privy to this edition of, that you were privy to the interview that I had with Sheriff McFadden. Just absolutely incredible information that he shared on today's broadcast, and I didn't want you all to miss it. So make sure you know that you can go to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube to watch this same interview in its entirety again, and you'll be able to see it there, as well as encourage your friends and your family, co-workers to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. And I've given you a way to do that as well. You simply can go to YouTube and it's the Kim Jacobs Show. There are also links in all of today's broadcasts as well. On Monday, know that we're going to be talking about how to care for aging parents. And I want to make sure that you all tune in Monday at 11 o'clock a.m. I have Saina Davis, who will be on to talk about how to care for aging parents. So make sure that you tune in on Monday at 11 o'clock a.m. on the Kim Jacobs Show. I look forward to it. And also, if you're interested in being a sponsor on the show, make sure that you know that you can just email me at kim@thebalancedoctor.tv. kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, and I will be happy to have you be a sponsor on the Kim Jacobs Show. Today's episode has been sponsored by Exclusively for Eternity, and the owner of that is Adele McLean, and she is a big advocate to teach people that as she prepares these burial gowns, because there's a lot of people that have transitioned home, not just during COVID-19. She's been doing burial gowns for many years, but as one of my sponsors for this particular week, I want to let you know that she can customize a burial gown for you, for your loved one that may have passed away at this point. So it doesn't have to be only what you see here. But her slogan is, let her last dress be her best dress, because it's for eternity. And if you'd like to learn more about the product line that she offers, here's just a small taste of the burial gowns that she creates. And again, each of the outfits can also be customized to fit the taste of your loved one. If you'd like to reach out to find out more about Exclusively for Eternity, simply call 412-403-3338. 412-403-3338. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and I will see you all on Monday. God bless you all and have a great